One of the games that we've been super hyped about has been No Rest for the Wicked. But unfortunately, based on some of the Steam comments and looking at this comment right here which says no rest for the GPU, we really got to talk about the game and how it's getting reviewed by you guys. And if you guys are finding it enjoyable or not. So I do want to know in the comment section down below. This was a game we've been looking forward for quite a long time due to the fact that the studio behind the game has been really good at making games like Ori and the Blind Forest, basically all the Ori franchise, as stellar games. This is a brand new game made from them, and granted, it is a early access, so do consider some of the feedback with that idea in mind. But in addition to that, I'm going to give you my opinion after playing the game, if I agree with some of the reviews, some of the comments. But in order to get a grasp and get a better idea, let's take a look at how it's doing on Steam and what are the reviews. So right now we go to all reviews. You're going to notice that the reviews are mixed. If we take a look at the percentile, it is sitting at a whopping 62% out of users that have reviewed the game are giving it 62%. So it's not, I would say, kind of new. There's a little bit more positive than negative, which is in a way a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. You want to see positive reviews, especially for an early access. We're going to jump into a couple of these reviews and check out exactly how well they do. So we have the first one, which they recommended it, but it's actually kind of like a negative one because one of the biggest issues right now currently with the game is the fact that it's performing very badly if you have a really bad PC. Me personally, guys, I have a pretty decent PC, so I'm able to handle games, but I'm still getting a little bit of hiccups here and there. Now, they said they will address this, and we'll take a look at what the developer has said so far, but this is what we have so far. So let's take a look at what the developer said and talk about what we can expect. I think one of the biggest misconceptions that we've had about the game is the fact that the game looks very much like Fable, and some people like the Fable artistic style. Some people don't like the Fable artistic style, so it's going to be kind of up to you guys what you guys think. But let's take a look at what was said regarding the game and what they're looking out for. So this is what the developer has said, and granted, it is actually pretty good. He does provide some links here to report feedback and report bugs. It says, we're overjoyed with the initial response to No Rest for the Wicked, and we're already getting great feedback from you and all of our players. We want to develop this game alongside all of you, as we've mentioned. So to that point, we want to share what we are seeing as the hottest feedback, ask for features, and common issues players are seeing. Key remapping, aspect ratio limits, performance improvement, and pausing the game. To me personally, the pausing the game one, that's a huge one to me. How can you make a game and not allow people to pause it? I have no idea how this actually even gets into our early stage or even gets past a beta stage, because I don't know how you put a no pause feature into a game that sometimes you have to play for long hours and you need to go restroom, right? You need to eat, you need to pause. Like, what exactly was going through their mind to not allow such a normal feature or a common feature into a game? It says, please continue to send your feedback and bug reports, especially over our forums. So the links are down below. I'll put the links down below in the description so you guys can share any issues that you're having. But let's take a look at these reviews and talk a little bit more about what the sentiment is regarding the game. So there are a lot of positive reviews as long as some negative ones as well. So let's take a look at this one, which is a recommended review. So we'll go positive, negative, positive, negative. And this one says the following. It says, no rest for the oven. It still needs to cook. But there is a game here, which is more that I can say about other games. These are for the devs of top of my head. Add key rebinding as soon as possible. Add a quit to desktop button. Can't have a PC game without that. When speaking with the NPCs, reading notes, or kicking a ladder, make it so the character does not need to face it to interact. Environment readability needs to be improved. Sometimes you cannot see things like flowers, shrooms, because they blend in with the background colors. Camera sometimes moves in the position where you cannot see your character. I get that the game should be hard, but it would be nice if the monster/bosses attacks were better telegraphed. Example, you should be able to see where a bomb flying towards you will land, and a chiming sound when you can parry to auto target dot should reflect what kind of action you can do to the monster, etc. This goes a long way towards improving how the combat feels. Movement. It's sluggish. Not sure if the enemy's input read, but if they do, it would be nice for us to have an animation canceling when doing dodge would make it more responsive. Consumables should be selectable on the fly in combat, not only from inventory screen. This is by far one of the ones that I strongly agree with, due to the fact that, remember, when you die in this game, your armor will lose its durability. And to me personally, I feel like I get that the game is supposed to be hard, but they really need to address that. Maybe after you pass a certain level, this should go into play. Not at the time that you start playing the game, in my opinion. Look at this. Durability is useless and it has no... So right when I talked about it, I didn't even read that, but look, this guy mentions this as well. Durability is useless and has no place here. It does not add any of the mechanics. It is just only a pain for players and not fun at all. This isn't an exhaustive list, and I'll probably update it as I find more stuff, but all in all, it's pretty decent for early access game. So this is a very... I would say, I mean, to me personally, it's a constructive criticism, but there's a lot of negatives here. Okay, we're gonna read another one, which is this one right here. It says, this is from somebody. It says, I really love the art direction this game has taken, but sadly, that might be everything that I currently like so far. The combat feels clunky, which is what the person mentioned already. The controllers are just weird. Plus, it's hard to see your surroundings. Personally, especially if in the beginning of the game in the first zone, I literally have no clue what I'm looking at half of the time. Plus, the game is weirdly lags with a 480 and a higher end CPU, which is weird. I will keep playing though and see if my opinion has changed. So, as you guys see, one of the biggest arguments or one of the biggest issues with the game, of course, is how well the game is playing on PC. And a lot of us have some really decent PCs that should theoretically handle this type of game. And I don't know why it's so extensive. I understand that the game is beautiful. It looks very artistic. But there is a lot of things that need to change. Me personally, I am playing on a controller. So I feel like the sprint button needs to be addressed ASAP. I think they need to separate it from the way it currently is right now. I do agree with the fact that you should be able to knock down items without having to look at them. And I feel that definitely the pausing feature and the consumable feature need to be addressed. And I get that the game is kind of meant to be kind of like a slash Souls game, even though they said it wasn't. They listed this game as an ARPG, and a lot of people expected this to be kind of very similar to Diablo, and it really is not. I think it's more leaning towards a Souls-like game, in my opinion, and I feel like they probably should change the description of the game, or I don't know if the game is going to change as it progresses. Remember, it is an early stage game, but this is more looking like a beta instead of an early access, in my opinion, because there is a lot of things that need to be fixed here. And I believe the entry cost for the game should probably be lowered, as this is more like a test feature than an early access game, in my opinion. I think we need to kind of start setting the bar to what we consider early access, what we consider a beta, and when should a game probably be free to play, and then transition into a paid version game, due to the fact that, in theory, we're actually playtesting this game to make the developers make a good game to sell the game. So, I mean, and I don't know where you guys stand in that fence. I feel like the price should be lowered, in my opinion, because there is a lot of wrong with the game. Granted, I still am enjoying the game. It feels fun. It feels dynamic, but there is a lot of bad to it as well. But I want to know what you guys think about the game. If you guys are enjoying it, or if you're not, drop it in the comment section down below. I didn't want to make this video because I did want to hear your guys' opinion. If you did get a chance to play it, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you.